Live? By the way, if you guys heard me sing, can you please shut up? It's because the YouTube was telling me now is a good time for an ad. And I'm like, buddy, I just freaking started. All right, am I live? Can you guys see me? Are we okay? All right. Can you see me? All right, I think I'm live now. All right. Highland Cattle Man. I love you guys. Have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine? Yes, I have. I enjoyed that quite a bit. It was a stupid ass movie, but it was my kind of stupid. Like, let's be honest, guys, it's a stupid movie. But it's fun stupid. There's fun stupid, and then there's just plain stupid stupid. There's a difference. Hi from Greece? Oh, hell yeah! Yeah. Will I live stream Black Myth Wukong? Yeah, we're gonna do it over on Zagard's channel. I've already talked to him about it. We're planning to play, like, instead of streaming once a week, stream more like maybe 4 days a week, because we want to blast through Black Myth Wukong and then make a proper review of it for the channel. And then, God, right after that, Age of Mythology Retold comes out, and we want to blast through that as well. So for a couple of weeks, we're really gonna up the Twitch streaming schedules. And there's a link to his Twitch in all of our Let's Play videos, but it is twitch.tv /Zagard. How was your visit to the Philippines? Yes, I got back from the Philippines 2 days ago, and the jet lag is real. My sleep schedule is terrible. I've been sleeping, waking up tired, and wanting to go back to sleep. I've been having stomach aches. It's a goddamn nightmare. But, you know, it's so good to be back in front of you guys. I missed you guys. Can I see Hera's card? It looks amazing. Well, that's just a confusing statement. How do you know it looks amazing if you haven't seen it? Or like, here, I'll just pull it out because I love you guys. I'm guessing you want to see it with the background and everything is what you're saying. All right, I got the whole game in here. Just give me a second. All right, do I have... Yeah, it should be right here. All right, you guys are going to get a nice little... here we go. There we go. There's Hera. There's Hera's card for the game. Can you guys see it well? I think you can see it well. Yeah. Bloom, bloom. That's the Hera card. Though, there is one thing we're going to change about the Greek cards. We're going to add some pots on either side in order to have a little more going on with the Greek template. So I hope you guys like that. Opinion on Olympics opening. Everyone's been asking me to talk about that. I have intentionally not watched it yet because I want to, like, kind of film my reaction. I'm planning to maybe do a video similar to my Fortnite video on the Olympics. You guys let me know if that's something you'd want to see. We missed you too. Oh, I love you guys. We saw the picture in the video, but want to see her on the card. Well, okay, well, you just saw her. There you go. What does the... Wait, hold on. Why does the card art for Hades have earrings? I'll tell you why. Because that's the way Lewis wanted to draw him. I didn't specify to give Hades earrings, but I didn't have a problem with it in the image, so that's why. There are some things the artists put in that I don't ask for, where I'm just like, yeah, cool. Like, these are very talented, like, people that we're working with, and a lot of them, you know, have their own creative decisions that they add on. So did you play Legemia? Yes, actually, Wilda, me, and 2 of our friends in the Philippines did play it the day before we left. And, you know, it was actually pretty fun. So we're probably going to, at some point, like, I'll try to play it with people on camera so that I can show you guys what it's like, and you can see if it's a game you'd want to buy. Sun Wukong versus Shiva. Here's the thing. I think Shiva could find a way, but it would be a nightmare because Sun Wukong is just so damn annoying. Have you heard of Mr. Beast's drama? Yeah. Ugh. It sucks because I do honestly believe Mr. Beast is a guy trying to do the right thing. But there's people saying like, oh, some stuff is staged, some stuff is... It's not the first time stuff like that has been accused of him. And some people are blaming him for the Chris Tyson situation. Some people are saying like, oh, Mr. Beast might have known what Chris Tyson was doing. Some of you might tell me, oh, you're supposed to call him Ava Chris Tyson. It's like, look, given what that freak has been doing, like, I don't care what he wants to be called. He's like, I don't really respect the identity of someone who owns art of that nature. But yeah, I'm not gonna... The point is, I just think the whole thing is depressing. Have you seen the new Black Myth trailer? No, I'm going to make a trailer reaction for that right after this. Love your channel. Thank you so much. Heracles versus Sun Wukong. Go watch the death battle. You can hear both my thoughts and see who would actually win. I made a video reacting to the death battle. Watch that video. Mythology Guy, I've been watching you for years, and you make mythology so enjoyable to learn. Keep up the good work. Love your channel. Thank you so much, Chi-Chi. That's so sweet. Is your card game going to ship internationally or only in the US? Hello from Finland. Oh, well, nice. Hello, Finland. I'm planning for it to ship internationally. From what I've heard, like, it should be possible. I don't know if it's going to be a huge added hassle, but I'll just tell you, I really want to ship it internationally, especially with the nature of the kind of game it is. You know, it's a game that celebrates cultures from around the world, so it would really, really suck if I couldn't ship it around the world. What do you think about John Solo? I love John Solo. In fact, I'm not going to give stuff away, but I actually talked to him recently. Super nice guy. Super nice guy. I could have talked to that dude for hours, honestly. But, you know, he had to go because, you know, he has some stuff going on with it, he has stuff going on. I don't think it's my place to tell it to all of you. But I did talk to him recently, and it was really, really, really great. Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you why we were talking, but if things go the way they're supposed to go, you will likely find out within a month. Have you seen the Epic the Musical? Everyone's telling me to look at that. It's on my list. I really want to finish the stuff I'm working on before I look at Epic the Musical. I really want to finish the 1 million subscriber special. It's been just eating up a lot of my time. I really want to finish the Percy Jackson video, also eating up a lot of my time. And even if I get those things done, Black Myth Wukong comes out this month, and then we've got Age of Mythology, and then we've got Space Marine 2, which... honestly, I want to do a video on because I love Space Marine 1 so much. And Space Marine 2 is where you fight the Tyranids, and the Tyranids was my first Warhammer set, and I'm really excited for it. J. Pedro, thank you for the donation. There's no message, but thank you. And congrats on your 10th super. Hey. Sorry about the don't be sorry about the questions. This is a live Q&A. Sorry about the questions. It's just there's a lot of franchises that are inspired by ancient mythologies, and I'd love to see your input on them. Mainly Hell of a Boss and Abrahamic mythology. Yeah, I get a lot of requests for that too. People have been telling me to look at Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. I'm aware of them. I'm going to try. People telling me to look at God's School and Class of the Titans. I'm aware of them. I'm going to try. People telling me to look at Epic the Musical and the Olympics opening. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to just knock out that Olympics opening thing this week, hopefully. I'm going to knock out Black Myth Wukong's new trailer right after this video. I've already recorded a video discussing House of the Dragon Season 2, and that is literally uploading as we speak. Yes, I did see Deadpool Wolverine. I thought it was stupid fun. I really enjoyed it. Did you see cool stuff in the Philippines? You know, yes, I did see some cool stuff. Mainly, I felt the hot Philippines air, and I forgot what it felt like to go outside and not want to immediately go back inside. Commander Centurion, thanks for the donation. What's the weirdest place you've met a fan? Oh, that's a good question. All right, let's do a little rundown here. I've met fans at airports. I've met I met a couple fans in Key West just recently, actually. Um, I think the weirdest place. It's not really the weirdest. It's just I met a couple fans in Las Vegas also. Oh, here's a cool one. Um, I was visiting my brother for his graduation, and he and I went to a bar together, and the bouncer at the bar was a fan. That was actually really cool. Like, and it was the first time my brother saw me get recognized, and he was so happy. He was so thrilled to see me get recognized. He was really proud of me. I love my little brother so much. But another really cool place I got recognized and met a fan was in Georgia. Not the state, the country. I was there for my mother's funeral, and I ran into a fan there, and he was like, "What are you doing in Georgia?" And I was like, "My mom's from here," and he was like, "Really? Yeah." I didn't have the heart to tell him she had passed away, but I actually met a fan. I met a fan on my way to the Philippines at the airport. There was a kid sitting next to me, and I swear to God, this is what happened. He was like maybe 13, 14. I'm sure maybe first year of high school. He had some facial hair coming in, good for him. And I saw him. He looked at me, and then I saw him look at his phone. Okay, I heard a weird noise from outside. My neighbors are weird people. And I saw him looking at his phone, and the polite thing to do would be to not look at another person's phone, but I'm not polite. So I looked at his phone, and I was on his fucking phone. I swear to God, this is true. Not only was I on his phone, I was wearing the exact same shirt that I was wearing there in person. And he looks at me and goes, "This you?" And I went, "Yeah, that is me." And he was like, "Whoa!" Like, and his dad was there with him. His dad was like, "Oh, he's a big fan of your videos." And I was like, "Yeah, oh, awesome." And so we took a selfie together. It was so much fun. What time is it for you? Well, now that I'm back where I live, it's currently 2:14 p.m. Do you think there's going to be an Undead Nightmare 2? God, I want it so bad. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare is my favorite DLC of all time. So when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, I was like, oh, Undead Nightmare 2, it's going to be amazing. It's never going to happen, though. They've already abandoned the online for that because they're stupid. I don't know why they did that. Do you know of the 3 primordial beasts from the Bible? Are you talking about, I assume you're talking about the Leviathan, the Behemoth, and the Dragon. I don't remember what the third one is called. Are those the 3 you're talking about? The Leviathan, Behemoth, and the other one? Because if so, yeah, I know about those 2. I don't know much about the third one, though. Will you talk about Record of Ragnarok Season 2 correction video? I've been dying for you to make it. Oh, you mean an inaccuracy video? I plan to. It's just not super high on my priority list. I might try to time that more with when Season 3 comes out, so I can get it out when people are more interested in Record of Ragnarok. Also, I'm not looking forward to making it because getting the Season 1 video up was a nightmare. I've talked about this multiple times, but it kept getting copyright taken down. And I literally had to threaten to sue the people who were taking it down to get them to stop. I just ended up blowing up at them in an email, listing all the ways that what they were doing is actually illegal and saying, I will take this crap to court. I am sick and tired of of what you're doing. Then the next day, magically, all 3 of their copyright claims suddenly disappeared. So I'm not looking forward to potentially dealing with that again. Cosmic Abyss, thank you for the $10 donation. Woo! Can you do a live stream where you look at the designs of mythological characters from anime, movies, etc. that people recommend to you and give your thoughts on? That's actually a great idea. I love that idea. I'd take a picture, but I'm using my phone for the live, so I'll just take a little computer screen. I'm looking at these chat messages on my computer because that way I can see more of the chat. On my phone, I see like this much, and on my computer, it's more like that much. So, yeah. But I love that idea, Cosmic Abyss. Thank you, actually, for that idea. How many gods are there? Buddy, what are you doing to me? 7. Exactly. That's how many there are across all mythologies. Commander Centurion, thanks for the $5. To add on the question I asked, do you remember meeting a fan at the Funko store bathroom? Yeah, that was me. Yes, I do remember that. I remember that very much. That was a lot of fun. And it's so good to have you here in the chat, man. Hey. Yes. That was the Funko store it was either LA or Las Vegas, I think. It was one of the Los places. But yes, I do remember that. I remember when Wilda was like, "Did you just meet a fan in the bathroom?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." Oh, that was wonderful. Good to see you here, man. Bravo, thank you for the $10 donation. Zeus, I am the god of war. You guys are awesome. Oh, I also once met a fan at, he was an employee at a Barnes & Noble. That was really cool. Yeah. Actually, also, I met another fan at that same Funko store, so that was also cool. Hey, Mythman, what are your favorite gods from all mythologies? Oh, everybody asks that. Okay. Okay. It's either Hades or Heracles in Greek, Sun Wukong in Chinese, Loki in Norse, Anubis in Egyptian, Kali in Hindu, the Dagda in Celtic, Mictlantecuhtli in Aztec, Hachiman in Japanese, Coyote in Native American, Vilis in Slavic, and that's what I'm gonna say for now. Favorite god, period, either Hades or Sun Wukong. Bro, are you playing Wukong or not? You're like the 5th person to ask that. Yes, I'm going to play Wukong when it comes out. I will play that shit the day it comes out. I promise you. And I will live stream it. You will see me live stream that game the day it comes out unless something goes horribly wrong on my end. 8440K, thank you for the $10. You love your puns and word plays. Do you have any plans to collaborate with either Epic the Musical or Overly Sarcastic Productions or even Mythology and Fiction Explained? Okay, I don't know how to. So is Epic the Musical like created by a YouTuber then? It's on my list of things to check out, but I don't know who makes it. I would love to collaborate with more people. Now I'll give you a small peek behind the curtain. I did reach out to some YouTubers recently, and some of them got back to me. So hopefully you will see some stuff. But among the YouTubers I reached out to, I did reach out to Overly Sarcastic, but I never heard back. And I don't blame them for that. I'm sure they get drowned in emails, or maybe like, they have someone else checking their. Look, I'm terrible at keeping up with emails, so I don't. It's always a huge long shot that I'll even get a response at all when I send these things out. So I didn't hear back from Overly Sarcastic, but it would be a dream come true to work with them. I actually did try to reach out to Mythology and Fiction Explained, but for some reason my email kept bouncing back. So I don't know what happened there. But hey, Mythology and Fiction Explained, if by any chance you watch me, love you, love your channel. Please tell me a proper way I can reach out to you. I've actually, before I started my channel, Mythology and Fiction Explained was a place I would often go to double check my research when I was working on my card game. So, very good channel. Call Me Based, thanks for the $2. If you had one Greek god as your sworn enemy, who would it be? I don't want any gods as my sworn enemies. Shit, I don't want any gods as my sworn. It breaks my heart to say this, but it would probably have to be Hestia then, because I don't think Hestia would actually do anything. I think Hestia would just ignore me, because Hestia didn't even do anything to Priapus after the crap he pulled, so I'm not really worried about, Hestia being my enemy, but I love Hestia, so it would hurt me terribly But I imagine it would be worse if I had any other Greek god as my enemy. Chris Flame Reborn, thank you for the donation. Favorite fictional mythology, like Cthulhu. Okay, so you mean mythology that's intentionally supposed to be fictional in a work, like something that people don't actually believe. You know, there are people who believe Cthulhu, though. So. But for me, it might be the mythos within Aragon. You know, Aragon, like the dwarves have their own gods. The Urgles have their own mythical stories, like the tale of that ugly girl who like prayed to that one goddess for good looks. I think that's some pretty cool stuff. Also, the mythos in Star Wars, I think, is pretty damn cool. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Of course, I haven't seen The Acolyte yet because I don't want to, but we'll see. We'll see what fucking happens there. What do you spend on your chat money? I think you mean what do I spend my chat money on? Rent. I mean, it pretty much goes the same place all my earnings go. It goes into my bank account, and then I'll either use it for rent or props for videos or covering my Vimeo subscription, which is what allows me to upload videos to my Patreon, or food, or taking Wild on a date. You know, just basic life stuff, really. It's just like, all my money goes to the same place, and I just, you know, I spend it as I need it. Remnant Star, thank you for the $5. Have you seen the... Oh, no. I didn't know there was one. Have you seen the Percy Jackson teaser for Season 2? No, I didn't know there was one already. I guess I'll have to check that out. I don't guarantee there will be a video on it. Sometimes I'll record my reaction to something, but it will be such a small thing that I have, like, no reaction. So then I just delete the video because there's no content there for you guys. I only want to upload a reaction video if I'm adding something to it. Like, if I'm just sitting there in silence, I don't see the point. Crazy Cat Lady, thanks for the $5. I'm reading Magnus Chase's third book. Okay, so The Ship of the Dead. And Stray Gods, the musical Orpheus, released last month. Haven't read that. Both are good. I hope you review them or play the game one day. Oh, I didn't know there was a game based on that. That's interesting. I probably could for Stray Gods. Magnus Chase I read years before I even started my channel, so that's why there's no videos on Magnus Chase. And I honestly don't plan to do a video on Magnus Chase because I read it so long ago that I like to do, like, these videos freshly after I finish them. But if you want something to look forward to, during my trip, I finished this. So, video on this coming up soon. I was disappointed with this. It's not terrible, but it wasn't very good, unfortunately. So, I really hope Chalice of the Gods is better. Do you like Godzilla? Fuck yeah, love Godzilla. Can we see some of the stuff on the shelves behind you? Sure. Yeah. There you go. Have a nice little look. There you go. Hopefully that was a good look for you. I'm waiting for that Mooshock video. The hell is Mooshock? Oh, God. Is that a plushie of you? Yeah. That's me. That's the Mythology guy. And over here is the Mythology guy. I got this out of Barnes & Noble. Yeah, this was part of a campaign that did not succeed. They, Gimme Swag, the toy company, reached out to me. They said they wanted to make Mythology Guy plushies. And if it succeeded, we were also going to make a Hades plushie and a Cerberus plushie and a Zeus plushie and a Persephone plushie and a plushie of me as a cow that was actually going to be called the Mythology Guy. But didn't succeed, so didn't happen, unfortunately. Maybe someday we'll try it again, but it didn't work. you know, there's a lot of projects people try, and some stuff works, some stuff doesn't, and you know, it always hurts a little when something doesn't work. But you know, you can either you can obviously always take the time to be sad when you need to be sad, but you can either harp on it forever or you can learn from it and move on. You know, it's like Rafiki said, the past can hurt, but you can either run from it or learn from it. Do you like my name? Well, your name is Chaos Lotus, so yeah. Favorite Greek story? 12 Labors of Heracles. Mushak Ganesh. Oh, Ganesh's mouse. Yeah, I always people keep telling me the name of Ganesh's mouse and I keep forgetting it. That's just a fact. Yeah, no, I remember I've actually had at least 2 people ask me for a video on Ganesh's mouse and I have it written down on my phone. Favorite adaptation of Hades? Entertainment wise, Disney's Hercules. Hello, my friend. But as one that's interesting and feels closer to the myths, I'd say probably the Hades and the Percy Jackson books, not the show. Hated the one in the show, and the one in the movie was entertaining, but nothing like the books. So was annoyed by that too. Please shout, "Zeus, your mythologist has returned!" No, I'm not going to shout that. Why would I shout that? Favorite Slavic god? Veles. What made you start loving mythology things? My mom, when I was 3, read me D'Aulaire's Greek Myths and Arabian Nights, and that was what first got me into mythology. Then when I was 8 years old, she bought me the game Age of Mythology, which is what got me into Egyptian and Norse. And at one point when I was at Borders, the bookstore, which isn't a thing anymore, I got several books on horrible histories, one of which was called The Angry Aztecs. That got me into Aztec myth. There was a TV show on Disney XD called Jackie Chan Adventures, and that got me into Chinese myth. And Chinese was a pretty easy segue into Japanese, and it all just kept going from there. So that's how it happened. All minor Greek gods and goddesses, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? There's dozens of them. Like, how much time do you think we have? There's also a lot we haven't uncovered. Have you read Mythos by Stephen Fry? Yeah, good book. What are Odin's brothers the gods of? You know, I actually don't know off the top of my head. Their names are Vili and Ve. I don't off the top of my head know what they're gods of. I could Google it, but you can Google it too, so... I don't really think that me Googling it adds anything special. What's your favorite media in terms of most accurate? Well, honestly, I love... The Percy Jackson series is one of my favorite book series, and one of the reasons was because it's very accurate to Greek mythology, honestly. Some people are like, it's not accurate, the Greek gods don't live in New York. Well, obviously that's where the liberties start, but whenever they reference the old Greek myths or talk about the history, then it's very accurate. Like, you know... So I think that actually does a really good job of being accurate, and it's one of my favorite book series. So I guess we'll just say the Percy Jackson books. Again, not the show and not the movies, but the books. Vili is the god of will. Thank you. Okay, I actually let this go a little too long before I got to this point. We're 30 minutes into the Q&A. It's time for me to answer Patreon people's questions. So please... For the next few minutes, please don't make any donation messages because I really don't want to miss a donation message. I really don't want you guys to waste money like that. So I'm going to take some time to answer questions from people on Patreon because that's one of the perks of being one of my Patreon supporters is you get guaranteed answers to your questions. All right, where is... for the love of Pete... Okay, hold on a second. I got logged out of my Patreon for some reason. Stupid thing. Oh, this is annoying. Okay. I hate it when it does this. Okay. Are we in? Yes, we're in. Thank God. And they're like, oh, you haven't been online in a while, so we logged you out. Shut up. I didn't tell you to log me out. All right. Okay. Oh, it looks like we actually have quite a few this time. All right. All right. First one is from Gavin Lothar, big long-time supporter. Thank you, Gavin. All right. Gavin asks, what god is a joke in terms of power and status? I mean, there's a few you could point to. There's like so many Japanese ones you could point to. But one I always love to refer to when I get a question like this is Kiyomides, god of beans. Like, power and status. Here, the only way we even know about Kiyomides is there is one single shrine to him somewhere in Greece. That's all we got on the guy. And he's the god of beans. I always just picture this guy like throwing beans as his enemies, or like being the god of mighty beans, if anybody remembers that from the early 2000s. I think literally I would call that guy a joke in terms of power and status. Or I could be wrong, he could be one of the most powerful Greek gods. But, you know, it's in terms of status, he's definitely a joke because he's only got the one shrine. And if you go off the belief that gods get their power from people having faith in them, then yeah, it would be pretty low there too, because again, only got the one shrine. My favorite Greek gods are Hades and Heracles, so yeah, you guys can stop asking that now. Okay, then we've got Lassie Ehrenreich. Hey, welcome back, and I hope you had fun traveling. Thank you. I should talk more about my trip, but I will after this. Lassie Ehrenreich has a few things. First off, an idea for a sketch. Title is Family Gatherings. Hades says, Poseidon, what's up? Poseidon says, not much. Gets interrupted by Hera saying, take that, Granny. Hades says, what's up? Poseidon answers, oh, she's mad that Zeus had an affair with Gaia. Hades looks shocked. Oh, it's no big deal. I did it too, says Poseidon. Hades mumbles, do it for the wife, do it for the wife. Zeus enters the room. Hey, Hades, can I spend some quality time with my daughter niece? Hades to Zeus, sure. Wait, he said quality time, realizes it, and starts screaming in panic. God. Lassie, why don't you make some videos? You've got good ideas. Like, come on, I make my sketches on my phone. You guys can do it too. Lassie, you've got so many funny ideas and puns. Start your own damn channel. I'll watch you. All right, so next thing Lassie says is, do you know what it sounded like when Sisyphus chained up Thanatos? It sounded like death metal. I have the worst sense of humor. I'm using that. I'm goddamn using that, Lassie. If you don't start a channel, I'm using your ideas. All right, next question is, what do you think your most realistic video is? What do you think your most realistic video is? I think it's Beware the Cat Seath, due to it being the way real cats act. No, yeah, but remember, that is still a video where a cat is mind controlling a human, so that takes away from the realism. And if you guys don't know what's being referred to here, you should all go watch all my Celtic videos just to be safe. I think my most realistic video is my current reading situation. The one where I joke about how I have a ton of books that I haven't read, and so many people in the comments said, stop calling me out like this. So I think that was my most realistic. That and the I'm 30 years old video, where I just talk about how annoying it is to be 30 years old. But those aren't the most myth-related of my videos. Those are just videos I wanted to make for the fuck of it. Have you ever heard of a mythological penguin creature? I would love to if there was one, due to it being my favorite bird. Sadly, no, I have not. That doesn't mean there isn't one. If there is, it would probably be an Eskimo mythology or something. You know what I was annoyed I could never find? I tried so hard to find a mythical panda. Now, there is a story of how pandas got their stripes, but, you know, it's not... there's no mythical panda monster or mythical panda god or anything like that, and I hate that there isn't one. There are, however, mythical orcas in Inuit myth, so that's pretty cool. They can transform into wolves. Are you a Discord mod? No. I ain't got time for that. And finally, Lassie asks, who do you think would win in a fight? You or Amashenia, the god of weakness? I think the god would win. Because here's the thing, you may be thinking, oh, since they're the god of weakness, they must be incredibly weak. Well, for all we know, being the god of weakness means they can make other people weak. So the god would look at me and say, I don't need to use my power on you, you're already pathetic, and then beat the shit out of me. I think that's how that would go. And that's all of Lassie's questions. Thank you so much, Lassie, for being such a long-time supporter. Oh, we have our first ever Patreon question from Samael. All right, Samael is a brand new Patreon member. Welcome to the Patreon, Samael. Are you the actual devil, or is that just a fun name? So Samael asks, who exactly are the elves of Norse mythology, and what connection, if any, do they have to the modern fantasy depiction of elves? Okay, so that is, I totally get why you're asking that question, but that is actually a very difficult question to answer, because elves in Norse mythology are actually very vague. There's not a ton on them. There's not a lot of, or really any that come to mind, stories involving them. They're just referenced here and there in, like, certain lines in the Eddas. We know that there are at least two types of elves. There's the light elves and the dark elves. The dark elves have several different ways they are referred to. They are either called dark elves, or they're sometimes called black elves, like either called like Svartalfar or Dokkalfar. And some people think that dark elves and dwarves might have been the same creatures. There's theories involving that. The light elves had very white skin. The dark elves or black elves had very black skin, because the ancient Norse believed that if you hung out in the light, your skin would be light, and if you hung out in the dark, your skin would be black. They didn't know it's actually the exact opposite. We have there are the sons of Ivaldi were said to be dark elves, and they were three incredible builders, nearly on par with Brock and Eitri, the best of the dwarf builders. So yeah, that's pretty much, to my memory, that's most of the info we have on elves in Norse mythology. They don't live in the same realm. Light elves live in Alfheim. Dark elves live in Svartalfheim, which is often said to be the same realm as Nidavellir, which is where the dwarves live. So basically, dark elves and dwarves live in the same realm, while light elves have their own realm. But some people believe that Svartalfheim and Nidavellir were actually separate realms. So again, it depends on who you ask. Please don't spam the chat. Don't make me ban you. I hate banning people. And yes, they have a big influence on the elves of today, and that's mainly because of Tolkien. Tolkien, when he wrote not Chronicles of Narnia, that's C.S. Lewis. Tolkien, when he wrote Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, incorporated elves, and he was inspired by Norse mythology. Like elves like Legolas and Legolas's family and the elves of Rivendell were inspired by the light elves, and the orcs and uruks and urukai and shit were inspired by the dark elves. So, and a lot of fantasy and people these days have taken their elf inspiration from Tolkien's use of elves. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. I wasn't, by the way, like, I'm not annoyed or anything. I just, like, let out a big breath because I said a lot right there. So, Samael, I hope that answers you, and thank you for joining the Patreon. All right, next up we have two more people on Patreon to answer questions for, just in case you're wondering. Next up, we have Orgus Bichot. Orgus Bichot asks, hope your vacations were awesomely fun. They were a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Now, some time ago, you mentioned a bad you mentioned a bad movie project. Is that project in hiatus or is it dropped altogether? So, for those of you who don't know, a while ago, my friend Gabby and I wrote a script for an intentionally bad movie called Action Disfigured, which was about a killer action figure. And we made it intentionally bad. It was like the stupidest thing I had ever written, and I was really proud of it. And we needed a Kickstarter in order to make it happen. And we did raise, I think, about $2,000, but I think we needed like 10 grand to make it happen. So obviously we only raised 1/5 of the money we needed, so it didn't happen. And everyone got refunded. Don't worry, we didn't keep the money. So that project, it's hard to tell you if it's on hiatus or drop because we still have the script and we would still very much like to make it happen someday. But it's not being worked on right now. We currently don't have like some roadmap for it to happen or anything like that. Right now, mainly I'm trying to just launch my card game, and who knows, if I become a millionaire off the card game, maybe I'll just fund the movie myself. And we'll see what happens. So basically, it's I guess you could mainly say it's on hiatus, but it's on a very, very uninvolved hiatus. Okay, I have to answer this question because this is KeyJX in here with a goddamn $50 donation. Holy crap, KeyJX. It's your one and only. Remember that video you talked about correcting God of War 2018? Yes. Remember you talking like, oh, nice try, Santa Monica. You can't fool me. And then Mimir corrected you and you said, shut up, Mimir. I loved your video. Thank you so much. No, yeah, that was something I was planning on doing for a while because I realized, God of War 2018 and Ragnarok actually have a ton of thought put behind them. Ton of thought behind them in how they handle like doing something new with the mythology. How they basically go, yeah, we know this isn't quite how it happened in the myths, but here's our explanation for it. They have an explanation for each one, so I thought it would be hilarious if me as my nitpicky asshole character was like, well, actually this, but then the game has its own explanation. I'm like, shut up, you're ruining my pedanticness. And there is going to be more of that in Ragnarok, because that does continue to happen in Ragnarok. Would you play Rome Total War? I don't see why I wouldn't, but I don't plan on playing it anytime soon. When I was a kid, I played Shogun Total War. Really enjoyed that one. But I haven't played a Total War game since, so don't know. Do you like Star Trek? I haven't seen a ton of Star Trek. My favorite Star Trek thing I ever saw was, at one point I saw this Star Trek movie where I believe this is a long time ago, I saw this. 3 Vulcans like crash landed on Earth and one of them becomes like a miner. I really liked that movie. It was a really good one in my opinion. All right, last Patreon question is from Soaring Rock. And it's a big one. Oh my god, it's a big one. All right. Well, Soaring Rock's been a very kind Patreon supporter, so it looks like he's got a personal message here. I'll answer that on my own time. But after that, he's got Q&A question. How did your trip to the Philippines go? Oh, it went very nicely. I got to meet more of Wilda's family. I got to meet some of Wilda's friends. It's a lot of fun. I got to buy the game Lagim, which I have over... I'm not going to go get it. You guys already saw it in the video. Which I have here in this room. I got to pick up a few books, which I was really happy to get. I finished Sun and the Star. That was cool. Philippines is insanely hot, but you know, it was worth it to have a good trip with my girlfriend and everything. Yeah, I definitely appreciate the weather where I live more now. Like, it's a place where I can stand outside and not feel an urgent need to go back inside. Okay, someone made a donation question, so I'm going to answer that really quick. Crazy Cat Lady, thank you for the $5. Stray Gods, the musical released last, and Orpheus was DLC. The songs are awesome. It's on PS5. I read the book show last month. It was good. Oh, okay. So this is a video game. All right. I'll try to look into that. Thank you, Crazy Cat Lady. All right, so continuing soaring. Again, guys, just let me focus on the Patreon stuff so I can finish it, and then I can get back to you guys, all right? So next, Soaring Rock says, what did you think about there being 9 realms in God of War 4 and God of War Ragnarok instead of all the realms or lands on one plane of existence? Well, I think that's, you know, how most people see it. Like, that's... I liked the way they did it. It felt more like... realms rather than planets, you know? I kind of liked them all being like you're in the same area but on a different plane of reality. I thought that was a really cool and creative way to do it. I.e. Midgard, Jotunheim, and Niflheim all being walking distance. Okay, so like not being the accurate way, but being the way it is in God of War. I know Asgard is above Midgard with the Bifrost Bridge connecting the two, Helheim being underneath Niflheim, or even the far-reaching Niflheim. And I'm not exactly sure if in Norse mythology it was stated exactly where Vanaheim was located. Most of these different places were in walking distances. I liked how Santa Monica Studio portrayed Ginnungagap. The visuals were absolutely gorgeous. I agree with you. I really liked how it was done in God of War 4. A lot of people think when I do an inaccuracy video on something, it means I hate it. No, I love it. Inaccuracy videos are just for fun, you guys. Like, also, first of all, I'm playing a character when I do an inaccuracy video. Like, I'm playing it up for laughs, but at the same time, like, I also believe that pointing that stuff out can also be educational. So I'm trying to just make a video that exists on its own as like an educational and sometimes funny video that but is also not an outright critique of the game or product itself. Unless I make it really clear that it is, when I'm like saying something like, now why didn't you just do this with the story, because I think that would have been better. Then, like in God of War Chains of Olympus, when I was saying how come we never fight Morpheus, that was me legitimately saying we should have fought Morpheus in the game. But, you know, 99% of the time, it's not an actual critique. Okay, Z Scapegoat, thank you for the, S Scapegoat, thank you for the donation. Have you ever made up your own pantheon, like how people make up their own superheroes? No, I never have. Everyone keeps asking me to, but I honestly haven't. I was perfectly fine with the gods that are already out there, and I never felt the need to make up my own. And honestly, there's a ton of lesser-known deities that I think would be more fun to shine a light on instead of just making up more. But there are people out there who I'm sure are talented enough to create their own pantheons that would be really cool and really interesting. I just don't think I'm one of those guys. I've made up my own superheroes and shit, but I never saw the need to make up my own deities. Anyway, back to Soaring Rock. I know Ginnungagap was created from the mixture of Frost and Niflheim and the fire of Musala. Well, actually, no, it wasn't created from those. Ginnungagap is just a void. And Ymir was created from the Frost of Niflheim and the fire of Muspelheim in Ginnungagap. So he says, but where exactly does it reside within Norse mythology, like the location? Well, Ginnungagap is outer space, basically. That's what it is. It's the void, it's nothingness, it's outer space. And on one end of Ginnungagap is Muspelheim, and on the other end is Niflheim. And the fire and the frost mixed and created Ymir in the center. And after Ymir was killed, he basically became Midgard, Jotunheim, Vanaheim, Asgard, Alfheim, and Svartalfheim, and Helheim. Though some people say Helheim is just a part of Niflheim. So that's how that happened. Was Ymir killed in Ginnungagap? Okay, I think I just answered that. And here's a lame joke. Why didn't Uranus see Kronos coming? Because he had his head in the clouds. love you guys. That's great. I might use that too. I might steal that. Also, remember when you told me that mythology is inconsistent? Yes. You then said, I have given you an idea for a new question video. I'm looking forward to it. Ah, yeah, I have that written down on my phone. Lastly, can I get 2 birthday shout-outs? Yes, you can. My sister's birthday is on August 27th, and mine is on August 20th. Wow, you guys are only a day apart. Well, you don't say her name anywhere here, so I'm just going to say this. To Soaring Rock's sister, happy early birthday. Right now it is August 10th where I am, but hopefully you'll see this either by or on August 27th. I don't know your real name, and I don't know your brother's real name, but your brother clearly cares enough about you to be a member of my Patreon and ask me to wish you a happy birthday. So, sounds like you've got a pretty cool brother there. And Soaring Rock, happy birthday to you on the very next day. Thank you so much for being a member of the Patreon for several months now. I appreciate it quite a lot. And it is because of my supporters on Patreon that I'm able to survive when YouTube is being stupid. Thank you for everything you do, and I hope you, Wilda, and everyone else here are having a good day and will have a good rest of the weekend. Well, isn't that sweet? And guess what, guys? That is the end of the Patreon questions. Now I can focus back on all of you, and you guys did not freaking listen to me because you kept making donations during my Patreon shit. And fortunately, I know you people don't listen to me, so I kept looking back and checking. 8440K, thank you for the $2. Differentiate between harpies, sirens, and mermaids. Okay, sure. Harpies are feathered bird women who fly around in the underworld, but sometimes escape to the overworld, and typically what they're known for is being like pigeons or seagulls in that they go steal food from people and are annoying. Sirens are also half woman, half bird. One difference being they were originally just full women, but when they failed to find Persephone or stop Persephone from being kidnapped by Hades, Demeter cursed them by making them half bird, and now they reside at the Mycenaean Strait, never flying for some reason, and simply sing to lure men to their deaths. But harpies and sirens actually do look a lot alike. Mermaids? First of all, mermaids are not even Greek. That is pirate mythos, unless you are referring to naiads, nereids, or oceanids, which still look quite different from mermaids, or if you're referring to the Tritons or the Atlanteans, those would be part human, part fish, which is obviously very different from being part human, part bird. Cosmic Abyss, thanks for the $2. Danmachi when? Not anytime soon, but it is on the list. All right, and then we've got Boop AGM with $5. Have you... Oh god, it never ends. Have you heard of Epic the Musical based on Odysseus? Yes. One of the most highly requested things I have right now. I'll get to it. Thank you for the donation, I appreciate it. Thank you for the support, I appreciate it. I've heard of it. Haven't watched it yet, though. What would you do if an apple of Idun appeared in front of you? I'd probably sell it for millions. Opinion on Soul Leviticus. I don't know what that is. Have you seen Hadestown? Yes, and me and the Struggling Alto did a discussion video on it. I have it on my discussion videos playlist on this channel, or you can go to her channel and watch it. Do you like Mortal Kombat? Most of it, yeah, but Mortal Kombat 1 is really pissing me off now. Was Maui immortal? He definitely wasn't unkillable, because he ended up getting crushed to death inside of a goddess's vagina. Have you heard of the Hercules TV show? Yes. And you know what I'm planning to do? People keep asking me to do an inaccuracy video on the TV show. Here's the thing. My inaccuracy video on the Hercules movie is at 9.6 million views. So I'm thinking when that video hits 10 million views, I'll do a TV show inaccuracy video as like a celebration. I think that's pretty fitting. Like, you guys think that's fitting? I think that's fitting. Okay, wait, I wanted to read that. I'm planning to write a book series about a galaxy filled to the brim with factions and politics and is controlled by an intergalactic pantheon of gods. Oh, and this is Emma Bowen. I remember you, Emma. That actually sounds pretty damn cool. Here's the thing. Would they all be gods from Earth, or would there be, like, gods of other planets? Like, how would you do that? Scapegoat, thanks for the donation. Moses' feelings about the plague is unknown. It seems he was in denial about the whole bloody mess. You know, when you're fulfilling a sacred duty to your God, which forces you to unleash suffering on thousands, if not millions of people, what can you really do other than just, put yourself in some kind of denial about it, like not think about it too deep. Because if you think about it too deep, it's just going to torture you. I thought they portrayed it really well in the Prince of Egypt movie. I remember when he breaks down after the 10th plague. Like that, I thought that was a good scene. C3 Kev the Gamer, thank you for the $5. Have you ever watched the Supernatural TV show? How accurate is it? Haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list, and I was planning to do like vlogs on every season and then do a big review of the whole series when it finishes. I might watch it with my friend Shane because he's seen it and he says the first few seasons are good and then it gets really weird, and I'm kind of looking forward to that, honestly. If Adam and Eve got in a fight, would there be a world war? Well, I don't see why there would be a world war. I mean, as far as I know, Adam and Eve are in heaven. I don't see how them fighting up there would affect anything down here. Is Charon a minor god or monster in the card game? Oh, Spiros, hello. Charon is going to count as a monster in the card game. Supernatural ended in 2019. Yeah, I heard. Will you ever take a look at the Fate Servants? Is that a franchise or something? Is it part of the Fate series? Oh, were you trying to say Fate series, but it came out as Servants? The Fate series is on my list, so yeah. Have you ever been to Louisiana? No, I have not. Can you do a video on Finnish mythology at some point? Yeah, people keep asking for that. I need to do it. I really need to do it because people have been asking for that for literal years, and I'm so sorry I haven't done one on it yet. Gareth Alford, thanks for the donation. Do you know Welsh mythology? A little. Welsh is included in Celtic, so I think what Welsh I know is kind of included in my knowledge of Celtic. One thing that I know for a fact is mainly Welsh is Idraig Gok, the Red Dragon. I know a little bit about him. Alive Pierogi, thank you for the $5. Have you heard of Epic the Musical? Yes. We need to start taking shots every time somebody asks that. Yes, I have heard of it. Thank you for the donation. I'll talk about it at some point. If for no other reason than to get people to stop asking me if I've heard of it. Damaris Love, thanks for the $2. The teaser for season 2 of Percy Jackson is out, so I've heard. Nick Dowdy says hi. Hello to you too. What mythology has snake people? Greek mythology actually has several snake people. Including Erichthonius, Lamia, Echidna, Medusa. Yeah, Medusa. Even though Medusa's part a lot of things, like the Gorgons all are part snake in some way. Also, Hinduism has the Nagas. Those are snake people, so that's another one. Oh, Greek mythology also has Dracanas. Those are snake women. So there you go. So Greek mythology and Hindu mythology both have snake people in them. Have you watched Fate? Not yet. Really excited for the card game to be coming out. I'm happy to hear that. I'm really trying to get it out this year. Have you watched Lego Monkey Kid? Not yet. I say hi. Hello. Favorite mythology, either Greek or Japanese. I'm very biased towards Greek because it was my first and I know it the best, but Japanese is the craziest, so that's a lot of fun. The Abrahamic God is the most powerful deity. No one can beat him. Monad from Gnosticism, bitch, please. I don't know much about that character, so I can't really say much. Do you follow any religion? Yes, I am Catholic. But I love all the mythologies anyway. Any plans for Yoruba mythology video? Yes, but I would need to learn more about it first. The only Yoruba character I know anything about right now is Oleron. I would have to learn a lot more. Are you ever going to make a video about Troy 2004 mythical inaccuracies? So the interesting thing about that is Troy 2004 isn't trying to be a mythology movie. It's just trying to be more of a history epic. So I don't know if I could do an every mythical inaccuracy, because it's not like it's got very little to do with look, they acknowledge that the characters believe in the Greek gods, but it's not trying to adapt the mythical version of the tale. It's adapting the historical version of the tale. So I think what would be better for that would be maybe just doing a Troy historical inaccuracies. And if I did that, I'd want to get Metatron in on that. If I could get Metatron to do that video with me, I'd be thrilled. Cosmic Abyss, thanks for the $2. Which two pantheons would hate each other? Jewish and Islamic, because they already do. There you go. Alive Pierogi, thank you for the $5. I got an email saying the card game isn't coming out in 2024. Is that true? Isn't coming out in 2024 or is coming out in 2024? I'm trying to get it out this year. That's the plan. And this year is 2024. So that's the current plan. Whoop, whoop. There went the chats. Okay, there we go. Scapegoat, thanks for the donation. Have you seen the DuckTales reboot season 1, episode 12? If so, an accuracy video maybe, or reaction. If you have not seen it, thanks for being a hero. Oh, I'm not a hero, but thank you. No, I haven't seen any. I saw the DuckTales movie a long time ago. Other than that, I have seen no DuckTales. So, I don't know. Maybe I could do a reaction. We'll see. I have no idea what to expect. Gareth Alford, thank you for the donation. Do you know anything about Babylonian mythology or Sumerian? Yeah. I kind of loop that in with Mesopotamian. And I know some Mesopotamian. Like, I know about Ishtar and Pazuzu and, the Epic of Gilgamesh and all of that. So that kind of stuff, like, I do know. And I really do want to get that into the card game at some point, because that's like the oldest known mythology. And it would be really cool for more people to know more about that. Will the Aesir gods die if they stop eating the apples of Idun? It is suggested that they would, yeah. Do everything God of War Ragnarok got wrong. I will, don't worry. I'd have to be a fool not to. Sorry, kind of messed up my question. I love your videos and your shorts. Have you ever read or watched the Hellboys movies? Because they're very interesting, and they tell all foxtel. I'm not sure what that last word was, but yeah, I really love the Ron Perlman Hellboy movies. I haven't watched the newest one. I hear it's really bad. But I have thought of like maybe doing some videos on Hellboy lore, because I do know in the comics, Hellboy encounters several mythical characters, including Neotau and Mamion, so that's really cool. Hello, sweetheart. I love you too. My hero. You're my hero, honey. Wilda's in the chat. Are you ever going to do a video about Slavic mythology? I've done 3 or 4. You're hot too, sweetheart. Sorry, my girlfriend's over here being awesome in the chat. Have you heard the Gravity Falls rumors? No, are they bringing that show back? I love that show. What type of unit is Brock? Is he a warrior? And will Sun Wukong and Tang Sun Zhang be warriors in the game? Brock is a warrior. I'm counting all the dwarves as warriors. So Brock and Eitri and Basic Dwarf and Dvalin are all warriors in the game. Tang Sun Zhang is in the game as a warrior. Sun Wukong is a god in the game, though. So, yeah. Could Lucifer solo any pantheons? I'm not sure. People keep asking me to power scale the gods, which is not easy to do. I mean, here's the thing. The only fighting story we have about Lucifer is him losing a fight. He really puts the lose in Lucifer. Oh! So, it's hard for me to say who he could beat in a fight when he hasn't beaten anyone. Do you like the Jurassic Park franchise? I love dinosaurs. I've loved dinosaurs since I was a kid. So overall, yes, I do like it, but Most of the movies are not good. I liked how the Jurassic Park Dominion had that one dinosaur with the claws. Now I know it has a proper name, but Wild and I just call it the bitch slaposaurus because of that scene where it bitch slaps that deer with its claws. We just always call it the bitch slaposaurus. And whenever we see a toy of it in a store, we're like, "Hey, it's the bitch slaposaurus." You sound like the cool uncle. Oh, thank you. Well, maybe when my brother has some kids, I can fulfill that. You should never say when to go. Oh wait, did I watch that video? And as soon as I did, I subscribed. Oh, cool. Thank you. Why is Sindri called Sindri and not his mythological name? Okay. So you're thinking, why did they call him Sindri and not Eitri? From what I've seen, sometimes he's called Eitri, sometimes he's called Sindri. So they actually weren't wrong. If it was wrong, I would have pointed it out in my video, but it's not. I don't know why he's referred to by two different names. I really don't know. But it's not inaccurate. So they're technically not wrong. I like Eitri better than Sindri as a name, but I'm biased because my introduction to him was Age of Mythology, so I'm more familiar with the Eitri name than the Sindri name. You should do everything that's wrong in Record of Ragnarok. I did that a while ago. Season 1. And I will do Season 2 at some point. Did you know there's a Godzilla comic where he fights demons and Greek... Yeah, well, I didn't read the rest of that, but yes, I did know about that Godzilla comic. And, well, I was going to pull it down and show it to you, but it's not where I thought it was. So it's up there somewhere, and I've shown it in previous videos. Did you read the book of Bill Cipher? I didn't know there was one. Wait, I wanted to read that one question. Okay, here it is. If Hell was in God of War 4, Kratos might not need the Blades of Chaos. Well, what do you mean by that? Like, do you mean like Hell would have helped him or something? Helped him? Do you like Sinbad? Oh, yeah. Like, the 7 Voyages of Sinbad, it's like part of Arabian Nights. It's pretty cool. I'm kind of surprised that, yeah, actually, no, I'm not surprised. I was going to say I'm kind of surprised there's no proper, like, Disney movie or whatever that's incorporated Sinbad, but, you know, Sinbad's story, you'd have to take a lot of liberties to make it more kid-friendly, like that one DreamWorks movie where they didn't incorporate Sinbad's story at all. They just completely made up a new story and put a Greek goddess in instead of an Arabian character. But I still, like, it's still a good movie, and Eris is really cool in it, so yeah. Did you give up on a hairstyle? What do you mean give up on a hairstyle? I've still got my messy ass hair. It will always be messy. What does the primordial god Tartarus look like? We don't know. He's never been depicted. He is just a living pit in Gaia. That's what we know about him. Ever watch Good Omens? No. But when I do, it'll be to do a video on it. Did you know Buddha never claimed to be a god? Yeah, I'm sure. Just like Jesus never claimed to be a god. He just said that that God was his father. And I actually have a theory. People keep saying, "Oh, Jesus said God was his father. That means he's like a demigod. He's like this magical being." I actually, I even thought this when I was a kid. When Jesus called God his father, I was like, well, yeah, God is everyone's father, isn't he? Like, because I went to Catholic school in kindergarten, and they were all saying, we're all the children of God. You're all children of God. God refers to all of you as his children. And then suddenly we get to the story of Jesus, and they're like, Jesus was the Son of God. And I'm like, aren't we all? I actually think that's what Jesus meant, and everyone took him too damn literally. So, could we see the Mictlantecuhtli card? You know what, Spiros? You've been a really loyal fan, and I really love you guys, so yes, you may see the Mictlantecuhtli card. Let me just find the card. Here we go. Aztec cards. Boom, boom. Give me a second. I just gotta find it. No. Okay. Just let me find it real quick. These are the Aztec cards. I'm going through them. Mimixcoa, Sapakli, Weiwei Toyota, Kalkieta Tolan, Shanak, Huitzalo Parsley, Talawi Kol, Tape Model, Talalta Kutli. There he is. Alright, I'm gonna take him out of the sleeve so you can see him better. Alright. The reason the back is white is because these are just these are FedEx printings. These aren't the official Game Crafter printings. But there's Mictlantecuhtli. Boom, bada boom, boom, boom. So, you know, you guys get something out of coming to these lives. You get to see stuff that hasn't been revealed anywhere else. So, there you go. Mictlantecuhtli, Dark type. His power is low, but he gains a buff for every unit that has died throughout the game. So, if you play him late game, he's pretty goddamn powerful. Hope you guys liked that card. Bling. Alright, I'm just gonna put this here for now. Could we see the Achilles card? Okay, Spiros, I'm not spoiling you now. I just showed you a god that has never been revealed before. You're welcome. Also, I already revealed Achilles on the Instagram. Just go look at him there. Didn't I? Wait, actually, I don't think I did. Or did I? I don't know. Who is Jove? Oh, you're talking about Jove from the Book of Jove, right? I actually don't know. I honestly don't know who Jove is. Sorry about that. Gemini, thank you for the $10. Hey, Mythology Guy. I'm a beginner writer and currently writing stories among my god and demigod characters. Do you have any suggestions on world building? Example, how to make it less complicated. Okay, keep in mind, I'm not a writer, so I don't know if I'm the right guy to ask about this kind of stuff. It's really awesome that you're a beginner writer, though. It's kind of hard to say with the whole making it less complicated thing. I would say maybe just try not to make your book too front-loaded is a good piece of advice I can give. Try to start your book in a way that kind of grabs people. Because here's the thing, I personally don't mind when a book starts with Lord Shiggitybog was a member of the High Zifferigs of Clan Zipplebob. Like, I don't care about if it starts that way because I'm into that shit. But you know who hates that shit is Wilda. I grabbed the Priory of the Orange Tree while we were at Barnes & Noble. I opened it up and it was like, King Zvester of House Zibidar went to Flingzabler, and she was like, I hate it. So, you know, not everyone is into that kind of stuff. So I just say, be careful with how front-loaded you are. Maybe just try to introduce people to that lore a little more naturally as the story goes. Like, obviously you can have a little bit at the front just so people know what the hell is going on, but don't put it all right at the front. That's what I would say. Dumb shit for laughs, thank you for the donation. Make a Aztec and Norse god meeting together video. Well, like, what two gods would it be entertaining to watch meet? Like, what could I do something with? Like, a lot of people say, can you just make, like, you know, a Greek god meet an Egyptian god? And it's like, well, yeah, but what would I have him say? It still has to be funny at the end of the day. Like if I just have Bast walk up to Odin and be like, hello, like, is that the video? I still have to come up with something funny. DJF VLLOUT, what a name. Thank you for the $10. Love your content. What are your thoughts on the Smite game series? I love watching all your content and hope this money sees you well. Thank you so much. Game series? Did they make a second Smite game at some point? Okay, I was actually one of the first people playing Smite. I remember when it came out, like Zeus with the shield and Arachne and everything. And back then, back when Sun Wukong was actually the character model that later became Hun Batz, and Ao Guang was actually the character model that later became Kukulkan. And I played it. I tried to make Hades my main, but I just wasn't good with him. So then I tried out a few other characters. I got kind of good with Fenrir, but then I got really good with Apollo. So Apollo became my main. And eventually I realized I wasn't really enjoying the game that much because it didn't have a story or anything. It was just a PvP only MOBA, which wasn't really my thing. So eventually I just kind of stopped playing. I think I stopped playing right when Achilles got introduced, or I don't remember exactly. I've popped in and looked at it here and there, and it looks like they've added a lot of cool stuff. It seems like a really cool like game for MOBA fans, and I like how much stuff they put in there. And at some point, I'd love to do a full video on it. So that's what I'd like. But MOBAs aren't really my thing. I didn't get into League of Legends. I like games that are more story driven, or like if I'm just gonna play a PvP game, I like fighting games. Like that's my fun stuff. Scapegoat, thanks for the donation. You're Catholic, so have a favorite Catholic joke? You know, I really loved that. I saw a video online once, and I was like, God, I wish I had made this. There's this video where it shows like Jesus sitting at a table with all his like apostles, and the apostles are all trying not to laugh, and the waitress is like, "What would you like to drink?" And Jesus says, "We'll just have water." And then all the apostles burst out laughing. And I was like, oh, that is great. I wish I had come up with that. So that was a good one. Gemini, thank you for another 10 bucks. Thank you, Mythology. Been waiting for content for a while and love the feedback. Have a good day, afternoon, night, my guy. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. I know, I'm sorry there hasn't been content for a while. It is because I was away for a month in Florida, and then the Bermuda Triangle, and then the Philippines, and I got sick twice. It was crazy. But I'm back now, and hopefully I can get some stuff down. Why is the Dog Day your favorite Celtic god? I just like, he seems so wholesome, honestly, and it's cool that, like, he's a god of both life and death. I don't see a lot of that. And he feels like a total Santa Claus. And I also think it's entertaining that while he seems like such a nice, wholesome guy, he's married to, like, this dark goddess of death and fate. It's like, my god, what a marriage that must be. It just seems so entertaining. Like, so I just like all of that about him. It just seems fun. RPG Neko, thanks for the $2. Any Rex for Norse myth books? Oh, okay. For beginners, yeah. So for beginners, it's good to start with. I get this question a lot. I'd say my top 3 books for beginners are either this. This is a really good one. It's The Norse Myths, retold by Kevin Crossley Holland. I think you can see it there. This is a really well-written, well-structured book on Norse mythology. And then there's Neil Gaiman's Norse Myths. That one's written pretty entertainingly, so that's a fun one. And then there's Doulaire's Myths. That one's done very well, just like Doulaire's Greek Myths is done well. So there's 3 examples for you. And then there's also Jake Jackson's Norse Myths. Jake Jackson has covered pretty much every mythology, and he does them all really well. So, yeah, there's 4 books that are all good for beginners that all cover Norse myth pretty well. And also, Neil Gaiman also made a Norse mythology comic book that I have right here. So, you know what could be fun? Reading his Norse mythology book and then reading the comic book afterward. That's kind of fun. So there you go. Boom. What does Seder magic do? It's not precise or exact. It's, you know, it's a ritualistic magic. It's said to do all kinds of things. Like, you know, it's just... But sometimes it's also considered an unmanly magic for some reason, even though there were a lot of men who performed it in the old days. So it's, like I said, it doesn't say specifically what it does. It was believed to be able to do crazy stuff, just like how, you know, hoodoo magic lets you communicate with spirits and stuff. Will you ever do a video on the heroes Sigurd of Norse myth and Siegfried of Germanic? Yeah, actually, I wanted to do one video covering both of them, because I thought that would be interesting. Wait. I wanted to read that Assassin's Creed one. Assassin's Creed has always been mythical. They had Adam and Eve in the first games. They didn't have Adam and Eve in the first game. They had the apple in the first game, which was a reference to Adam and Eve. But I don't think they actually had Adam and Eve until it was either the second game or Brotherhood, where if you got all those collectibles, you could unlock an Adam and Eve video. But yeah, you're right. It's always been mythological. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. But I'm just saying the first game didn't have Adam and Eve, but it had the Apple of Eden. Emma on her gods book says, I'm thinking for the series canon, the Greek gods were actually just enforcers of much larger galactic pantheons, while on Earth, and the pantheon had a lot more throughout the galaxy. Okay, so what you're going to say in your book is that the gods that we believed were just Greek were actually much bigger than we thought they were. That's pretty cool. RPG Neko, thanks for the $2. Thanks for the recommendations. Love your vids, by the way. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm making a story about a new species after humanity. Oh, no, there it goes. About a new species after humanity who were all wiped out by a powerful god who gave up on the world. That sounds pretty cool, actually. Is it going to be like Horizon or something? Will Zalotl be in your card game? Yes, he is in the game. What is the difference between Elder Scrolls monsters and our mythology monsters? Well, Elder Scrolls has some monsters that they just made up, but they do use some monsters from actual mythology. I mean, I'd have to actually go look at the Elder Scrolls bestiary, because the only Elder Scrolls game I've actually played is Elder Scrolls Online, and it's been like 7 years since I last played it. But maybe someday I'll do a video that dives into it more. Are there other Vanir deities besides Freya, and Njord? There definitely are, because, otherwise how did they go to war with the Aesir? But I don't know if we know of any of them. Like, again, the problem with Norse myths is a lot of it was never written down. Like, we can thank Snorri Sturluson for actually gathering them and writing them down. A lot of people are mad at Snorri Sturluson. They're like, oh, he Christianized Norse mythology and ruined it. It's like, look, you can look at it that way, but the fact of the matter is, if we didn't have Snorri Sturluson, we would know almost no Norse myth at all. So, take what you got. Yeah. I would rather have more, don't get me wrong, but I appreciate Snorri Sturluson for making an effort to preserve Norse culture. He was making an effort to preserve Norse culture. He was just trying to make it also fit in with his own religion in order to like make it work. So, can you really blame him for that? Gemini, thanks for the $5. Forgot to ask, what mythology do you think has been overused in media, and what other lesser known mythologies should be explored? It's hard for me to say a mythology that's been overused in media because I love mythology so much. But I'll say this. There have been a lot of times in media where there's been an opportunity to showcase a pantheon or a culture that doesn't get showcased enough, but instead of doing that, they've just defaulted to making a more Christianized version or using Greek gods. Like in the Sinbad movie I mentioned earlier, that is an Arabian story, but they used Eris in it, and Tartarus, and Cetus. They used Greek mythological elements in an Arabian story. That was very strange, but it was done well, but, And there's also a lot of times where there's opportunities in, like, to use more Greek or Egyptian or Norse culture in something, but instead they Christianize it more. I don't know if it's just because it's more familiar or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with Christianity at all, but if you're going to focus on a certain culture, I want you to focus on that culture and not default it to the way, like, we're so used to things being. Like, just being like, oh, god of death or the underworld, devil. God of the heavens must be like our god. Or like in Blood of Zeus, I wish they had gone full Greek mythology like the creators originally wanted to, but instead they had to incorporate a bunch of Christian elements and other stuff for reasons. Scapegoat, thank you for the donation. As just a story, what is your favorite biblical story? Mine is David in the cave, because that is such a tense moment. You're a hero of mythical scale. Thank you very much. You're so nice. Favorite biblical story just as a story. It might be the story of Moses, honestly. Always really liked that one. Also really like Dante's Inferno, though. That's a really good one. Yeah, it might be one of those two. How do you play your card game? Look, we don't have time for me to give you a full tutorial, but basically, you can play mythical characters from your hand. You can equip them with weapons from mythology. You can play locations from mythology to buff your characters, and then you want to overpower your opponent's characters and kill them, which will get you points. You get enough points, you win the game. That's how it works. The elder gods from Mortal Kombat are useless. Agreed. They do fuck all. Will Python, Deimos, Phobos, and Echidna be in the game? Python and Echidna are planned for the Titans expansion. So far, no Deimos or Phobos. But, you know, if the game succeeds and I get to keep it going for the next 50 years, like I would love to, then yeah, obviously we would eventually get Deimos and Phobos in there. Not sure, I haven't seen it, but the god thinks if a human has enough trauma, they can give others... I'm sorry, Spiros, I have no idea what you... not Spiros, I'm sorry, Nighthawk. I have no idea what you're saying here. I'm really sorry, I can't tell what you're saying. Will Magni, Modi, Sigurd, and Adumbla be in the game? Magni, Modi, and Sigurd, yes. Adumbla, not yet. Favorite mythological weapon? Sun Wukong's staff, probably. I think that's a really fun one. Why didn't Hera go after Perseus? She went after other of Zeus's kids. She probably didn't feel the need to, since his own grandfather threw him in the damn ocean. Best God of War? For me, it's God of War Ragnarok. That, in my opinion, is the best God of War game. Would the... favorite Pandava brother? Beam. I love Beam. Did you answer Squarly 316's question? I'm not sure. If Lucifer apologized to God, would God forgive him? Well, I feel like he'd kind of have to, since God tells everyone to forgive everyone. Greek gods are real, obviously, but one day humanity discovers the outer galactic community, so they decide to rebel against the gods and decide to propel themselves beyond Earth and into the stars. Okay, cool. Caribbean folklore, please. Sure, yeah, at some point. Yo, 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 Mythology Guy, I'm making an anime OC based on you. Oh, shit, cool. Thank you. Wow, can't wait to see that. What is your favorite version of Spider-Man? Mine is 2099. Mine is Noir. I was introduced to Spider-Man Noir through the Shattered Dimensions game. After that, I picked up the comic, and then I was really happy to see him in the movie. And when I heard Nick Cage voicing him, I was like, oh, no way. No freaking way. So that was cool. Would you collab with Wendigoon? I don't see why not. I've actually never watched Wendigoon, though. I heard about that stupid controversy that one loser tried to start. But I don't know much about Wendigoon, to be honest with you. If he makes some mythology content, sure. I think, doesn't he make like horror movie content or something? If he wanted to collab with me and talk about like maybe a mythical horror movie or something, sure. I'd have no reason not to. He seems like a good guy. I saw him in a couple of interviews and he seemed like a good guy. Scapegoat, thanks for the donation. If it existed, would a Sodom and what would a Sodom and Gomorrah card do? What? I have no idea. Okay, we don't have mechanics for stuff like that. It would probably be able to get behind your enemy lines, because it would be in reference to getting behind a certain something else. Alive Pierogi, thank you for the $2. Have you ever heard of Has-Been Hotel? Yes, but I haven't seen it. Thoughts on Cersei? The character or the book? The character's kind of a bitch. The book is very good, honestly. Really, really liked it. Oh shit, am I... Okay, there we go. Sorry, just adjusting the camera. I was talking about the story earlier. Sorry if that was confusing. Oh, okay. Okay, Nighthawk. Can you search up the Tuhu Project yokai? Sure. I can try to search it up. Do you recommend the Trials of Apollo and Sun and the Star? Trials of Apollo I actually really liked. I don't get why people didn't like it. I did a video on it. Sun and the Star, I was disappointed with. I didn't really like it that much. And honestly, I didn't enjoy reading it half the time. The other half, yeah, but half the time, I didn't enjoy it. And you'll hear my full thoughts in a video on it soon. But if you want to know what I think of Trials of Apollo, go watch my video on the series. Squirrely, thank you for the $2. Check my last super. Honestly, love the content. Oh, well, thank you. So Squirrely, I don't know how to tell you this. YouTube does not make it easy to look at previous donation messages. That's why I try to answer them quickly when I see them. And it doesn't even highlight, what's the word? So a lot of donation messages go into the top thing that you can probably, see over there. But anything less than like $5 doesn't even appear there. So I don't really have an easy way to find your previous super. I'm sorry about that, man. If you want to ask it again, you don't have to donate. I'll try to look for your name in the chat. But yeah, I'll go ahead and ask it again, and I'll try to find it. But thank you for the kind words. I haven't seen Epic the Musical. I call it the chat queue. Yeah, the chat queue, where the donations are waiting at the top. I already asked this, and I'm not trying to bug you. I don't know what you're asking. Name a king of Jotunheim. Oh, sure, I can name a few. There's Utgard Loki, ruler of the mountain giants in Jotunheim, and Thrym was said to be a king of the giants in Jotunheim also. So there you go. There's a couple. In Louisiana, it's always 95 degrees. Well, that sounds horrible. Barnes & Noble's version of the Book of Bill. I have no idea what you're saying. Will Longinus be in the card game? I haven't incorporated any Roman characters yet. I would like Roman to be a separate pantheon. I'm literally shaking in excitement that you have seen some of my comments. Thank you so much. I love this channel endlessly. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Sweet, I love you. Is Keone a snow nymph? Keone is a minor goddess. So, separate thing. Have you seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies? Yes, and The Curse of the Black Pearl is my favorite live-action Disney film. Favorite Percy Jackson book? Last Olympian. I'm a sucker for books that are filled with battles. That's one of the reasons I love Aragon so much. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You are the best, and I really appreciate what you do in answering all my questions. Thank you. Aw. You guys are so nice. Oh, God. I don't know how to keep up with how nice you guys are. Imagine a god of wargaming Christianity, Kratos fighting Michael with the Spear of Destiny, the spear that stabbed Jesus' side, supposedly made anyone who held it invincible. That would be amazing. You know, one of my biggest regrets is in God of War 2, we get a spear called the Spear of Destiny, and it never even occurred to me to mention that to compare it to the Spear of Destiny from Christianity. I should have said, what the fuck is the Spear of Destiny being wielded by some random asshole in Greek mythology? Reagan, thanks for the $2. What did you think of Exodus Gods and Kings? I thought it was fine, honestly. I didn't see the point of it. I remember when that came out, I was just kind of thinking, why? We have 5 Moses movies already, and several of them are really good. 10 Commandments is a fantastic film, and Prince of Egypt is a fantastic film. And the I forget the name of the company, but they also made a Noah movie and some stop motion Christianity movies, but they also made a Moses movie, and that was fantastic. So when I heard about Exodus Gods of Kings, I was like, I don't really think we need another Moses movie. I did end up seeing it. I was like, yeah, that was good, but we have better Moses films. Squirrely, there you are. Thank you so much for the $5. Oh, my bad, man. It's not your bad. I didn't know that. It's not your fault, dude. It's YouTube's fault. Who do you believe has the strongest gods overall? Japanese, Norse, Greek, or Egyptian? There's an interesting question. Okay, so here's the thing. It's definitely not Norse, because Norse gods are probably the closest to the human level. Now, Greek has, like, chaos in it, and I imagine that primordial could very well have endless power, so you could make a case for Greek. But you could also make a case for Egyptian, because Egyptian has primordial gods like Atum, who is powerful enough to create other gods just by jizzing. But Chaos also has the power to create other gods, so who would win, Atum or Chaos? But Egypt also has the primordial god Ma'at, the god of order. So what's stronger, the primordial chaos or the primordial order? You could make a case for either one. Then there's Japan, which has such a crap ton of gods it's hard to talk about. But here's something interesting about Japan. Japan not only has kami and lesser kami. Kami is their word for god, like Aesir or Deva. Japan is kami. But Japan has some elder gods that are so powerful we don't even know anything about them. So for that reason, it could be Japan. Like, when Japan's first story is the tale of Izanami and Izanagi, who were supposed to be like the first two gods who created the world together. But here's the thing. They got their powers to create the world from the elder gods above them. So there are these even higher beings that we know nothing about in Japanese myth. So I can't possibly figure out who could win, because I know nothing about these gods. And then there's the question of how powerful is chaos in Greek mythology, and then is chaos or order more powerful? So, you know, it's hard for me to answer your question. All I can tell you is the answer is not Norse. Mason, thank you for subscribing to me. I appreciate that. What's a Greek story you want to be turned into a movie like Disney's Hercules? Oh, all of them. I want every Greek story to be a movie. But let me try to think of one that, like, hasn't been made into a movie that should be. You know what I really want? I want a proper movie about the Gigantomachy. We never get one. People keep making movies where the Greeks fight the Titans, and they keep incorporating elements from the Gigantomachy into it, but they never properly do the Gigantomachy. I want that. I really want that. But if we're talking about a movie that would be like Disney's Hercules, like a kid-friendly Disney movie, then what would I want? What's a Greek mythical story that would lend itself well to a movie like that? Not Orpheus. Orpheus is too sad. You'd have to change the ending, and I don't want that. Not Theseus either. That's also too sad. Fuck. I guess you could say Perseus, because he has a happy ending. There you go. I guess Perseus could work. Yeah. Or you could make a movie about Castor and Pollux. They have an interesting story. Or you could make a movie about Bellerophon and just change the ending. There's a lot I would like to see, honestly. Sid Riesig, thank you for the $2. Thank you for the selfie. Can you do the Fate Servants? Oh, did I take a selfie with you? Are you one of the fans I ran into? So you're talking about so you want me to do the Fate series, I'm guessing. Yeah, a lot of people want me to do the Fate series. It's noted. I will try to do it at some point. Mythology Guy, in my story, Zeus and Odin are sworn brothers. Oh, interesting. And wait. I wanted to answer that. Are sworn brothers, and Thor and Loki are sworn brothers, and I have made plenty of justifications for Zeus not being able to keep it in his pants. All right, sounds like an interesting story. Do you have a favorite myth-related superhero, or have you created your own? By the way, I love your videos. They are inspiring. Yeah, when I made up my own superhero team in my teenage years, I think. And on my superhero team, Sun Wukong was on the team. So that was my superhero mythology character on a superhero team. And I think Sun Wukong would fit a superhero team really well. So yeah, but probably my favorite myth-related superhero who already exists would probably be Wonder Woman. I've actually loved Wonder Woman since I was a kid. There's a reason I have a toy of her. Like I got introduced to Wonder Woman through the Justice League TV show and been a fan of hers ever since. Potato on a Quest, thank you for the $20. Hell yeah, that's one generous potato. I'm kind of new to your channel, and I love what you do. Thank you. I just watched the vid where you said you grew up with the Arabian Nights. I am curious if you remember which version. I am aware there are a lot of translations. Not only am I... Hold on, I've got it right down here. Yep. This is the version my mom used to read to me, right here. Yeah. It's, it says The Arabian Nights, illustrated by Earl Goodnow. There you go. Here. So yeah. Not sure if any of that helps, but yeah, that's Alibaba and the 40 Thieves on the front. So that's the version I grew up with. But I also bought a much bigger and more packed version because I wanted to study up on it better in order to make an Aladdin inaccuracy video, which I plan to make at some point. So, you know, there you go. Though that's the version my mom used to read to me, and I really liked it. I remember being really fascinated to see the differences between Aladdin in that story versus in the movie. A lot of people don't know Aladdin is actually Chinese in Arabian Nights. I did like Idris Elba as Heimdall. Yeah, I thought he did a good job. Some people were saying, like, some people have asked me, like, don't you think it's wrong that they had, like, a black man playing Heimdall in the MCU? Like, don't you think that's terrible because, like, it's Norse culture and they're, like, ruining it by, like, doing a different race? It's like, look, it doesn't really bother me because they got, like, 80,000 things wrong about Norse mythology in those movies, so I don't really see it as a true adaptation of Norse myth. I just see it as silly fun, and I love Idris Elba, so I didn't really have a problem with it. I do get why some people would, but, like, if you have a problem with that, I imagine you have a problem with about 500 other things they did in those movies. So you're not going to enjoy those movies anyway. Like, I don't think a white Heimdall would suddenly make you go, oh, now this is perfect Norse mythology. I don't think it would do that. Oh, I already answered the thoughts on Cersei thing. I saw you in the airport? Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Well, hello there. Read Emma's message? Okay. Well, conveniently, Emma's message is right under yours. I want to discuss much more about my fictional universe, but we don't have time. Is there some way we chat to each other personally? Okay, I can't make promises, but if you want, you can email my business email. It's in my channel description. Or you can try messaging me on Discord. I'm going to warn you, though, I'm bad at responding. There are a lot of emails I'm behind on right now. Hello, Sasha. You know, I've run into a few fans at the airport. And the first fan I ever met was at the airport, actually. That was, I think, about 2 years ago. And that was such a lovely experience. She heard my voice, and she came over. She was so sweet. That was such a nice experience. Hello to you too. Favorite mythological epic? 12 Labors of Heracles. Is that considered an epic? If not, maybe the Mahabharata. I know that's considered an epic. Will I remember all my questions? Will Andrew notice any of them before the stream ends? Find out next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Is Niflheim the same realm as Helheim? The two seem so interchangeable it gets confusing. Yes and no. The same way Svartalfheim and Nidavellir are the same realm. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Depends on who you ask, depends on what story you look at, depends on which interpretation you're going by. Some people merge Svartalfheim with Nidavellir, some people merge Niflheim with Helheim. It's different depending on who you ask. Reagan, thanks for the $5. What things do you think Odysseus changed or exaggerated in the Odyssey? I don't see him as a reliable narrator. You know what would be funny? In the Odyssey, it's constantly written that he's smart enough not to do dumb things, but his men keep getting themselves killed. It'd be funny, what if he was actually the one getting them all killed? And then when he got home, he's like, yeah, those idiots just got themselves killed. I don't know. I tried to stop them. I don't know. You know, I didn't do anything bad, so you didn't piss off Cersei. No, actually, I fucked Cersei. Yeah, I've got such a huge dick, you know. I fucked her, and it got her to actually bring him back. But they're not here. Oh yeah, well that's because they screwed up again. Yeah, they screwed up again with Helios's kettle. Tried to talk him out of it, but didn't work. And then I got kidnapped by another woman who I started fucking for a long time. She just did not want me to leave. Didn't want me to leave. I kept trying to come home to my beautiful wife, but this other woman, this Calypso, wouldn't let me go. She just had to have me. Benort, thank you for the $5. Hey, cut of what happened with the card games. Haven't heard any updates in a while. Okay, so you want an update on the card game is what you're saying. Okay, well, I mean, it's not, there's not that much new to tell, honestly. Like, we're kind of in a similar spot as before. I need to follow up with my graphic artist, because he was supposed to have the Greek template, the new template incorporated to all the Greek cards by now. I need to follow up with that. But other than that, there's really not much to say. We should be ready to go once he finishes that. Well, you know, not ready to launch, but ready to get the prototype made. So I would like to get the prototype made so that we can potentially launch already. Are there any Greek gods of undoing and destruction? Pretty much Eris. Yeah, Eris is a goddess of that. Which is better, Record of Ragnarok or... Wait, the message disappeared. Where'd it go? Record of Ragnarok... Shit, I can't find it. Okay, just ask that question again, and hopefully I'll see it. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? You missed my last $5 super chat? Oh, crap! Oh, damn it. I'm sorry, Chris Graywood. I'm sorry. There's so much going on. I'm looking for it. I'm sorry I can't find it. Shit. Oh, I hate when that happens. I'm really sorry, Chris. I'm really sorry. You looking good today. Thank you very much, Akira. Favorite Greek god, it's either Hades or Heracles. Sean Bean's Zeus or Liam Neeson's Zeus? Who is the better choice for Zeus? I actually thought Sean Bean was a really good Zeus, but we didn't get to see much of him, so it's hard to say. Liam Neeson, also not a bad Zeus, though. Like, you know, honestly, I think Sean Bean is slightly more fitting as Zeus, but Liam Neeson's still good. Maybe it's just because it's hard for me to not see Liam Neeson. Is the Emperor's New Groove lore accurate? No! No, it's not. They did not have fucking castle on top of the hill with swimming pool attachment. They didn't have you threw off the Emperor's Groove in Mesoamerica. Nick Cage as Hades? I'd pay to see that. Love your content. What would... Oh, there it went. What would you say is one of the cooler, lesser-known bits about Norse mythology? It's my favorite mythology, but I don't know everything about it. Cooler, lesser known bits of Norse mythology. You know what not a lot of people know is in Norse mythology there are 4 extremely powerful dwarves that hang out at the 4 corners of the world holding the sky. So that's pretty cool. Cowboy Devil, thanks for the $2. In my opinion, Japanese history is better than Japanese mythology. Fair opinion to have. Japan is pretty amazing. Chris Graywoods asks, hey, Mr. Guy, you missed my super chat. Would you ever consider a collaboration with the Etymology Nerd for videos about myth influences and languages? Okay, I'm glad I was able to answer your question now. I have never heard of the Etymology Nerd, but I will look him up. Give me a second here. I'm going to look up the Etymology Nerd. The Etymology Nerd. Okay, here we go. 359K subscribers. Good for him. Oh, looks like mainly a shorts creator. Okay, cool. I'm also a shorts creator. I have a Harvard linguistics degree. Oh, good for him. All right, I'll have to look into him because I'd have to know if our content would mesh well, you know? But I don't see why not at this point. Dude, you look exhausted. I'm jet lagged. I am exhausted. Zeus with white hair is mythically inaccurate. Really? Okay, if you say so. I can't think of a way to disprove that. Which is better, Record of Ragnarok or God of War? Oh, God of War! Like, it's not even close. Granted, I have not read the manga yet, but I'm pretty sure I would still say God of War. Chris says, thank you. No, I'm sorry I missed your chat. I'm very glad I was able to find it in here. I don't think just because a god is the god of weakness means he's... Wait, where'd that go? It doesn't mean he's weak. They just control weakness. That's what I was saying, you know? If you're the god of weakness, doesn't that mean you preside over weakness? It doesn't necessarily mean you're weak. Can you explain Scientology? Go watch the South Park episode. It honestly, I fact-checked it. They explain it perfectly. Just go watch the South Park episode. They do it so well. Will Utgard Loki be in the card game? Yes. I love Heracles. You and me both. Favorite character in Percy Jackson? It's honestly Percy Jackson. I love him very much. Earlier you were... Wait. Where'd that go? Earlier you were asking about penguin gods, and in some mythology, Tawaki is a penguin god. Really? Let me look it up. Tawaki god. In Maori mythology, oh yeah, it looks like he is a penguin. Wow, I love it. I'm gonna put this guy in the game. Not for the upcoming launch, but when I do a Polynesian expansion, I'm putting this fucker in. Well, thank you very much for telling me about that. Thank you very much, Blobby Blob. Do you like Lord of the Rings? Love the shit out of Lord of the Rings. Where should I start with Greek mythology? Dulair's Greek myths. That's where you should start. Favorite human kingdom of Middle Earth? Human kingdom, so I can't say Mordor. I guess I would probably just say Minas Tirith. Like, I like Minas Tirith. Reagan, thanks for the $2. Will Swan Zeus or Mare Loki be in the card game? No, but, well, not currently. It would be funny. I don't know what abilities I would give them. Dude, are you sick or something? I'm jet lagged. I'm not 100%. Favorite Egyptian mythical creature? Amit. Love Amit. Love you, my guy. Thank you. For me, it's Rohan. I like the Anglo-Saxons. Yeah, good choice. Good choice. Has Zeus and Hades ever fought before? No, I don't think so. Okay, it's been almost 2 hours, so I'm gonna wrap it up soon. I did want to go a little longer because this video is so late. There will be another Q&A this month. Don't worry, an official August one. This is technically the July Q&A because I'm very late. But I couldn't do it in July because I spent almost all of July overseas, and there was a 13 to 15 hour time difference wherever I was, and so if I did it at like noon for me, it would have been like 2 a.m. for you guys, and I didn't want to do that. Love from the Philippines. Favorite creature from the Philippines. Oh, I was just in the Philippines, so thank you. Favorite creature from the Philippines is the capre. I love that fucking creature so much. People are telling me to go to bed. I will soon. Well, first I'm going to make a reaction video to Black Myth Wukong, then I'll go to bed. Chat, would you agree this stream was awesome? I hope they would. Do other mythologies have their own version of Ragnarok? Well, Christianity has the end of days, and Hinduism has when Kalki comes down for the final battle. So yeah, there are some that sort of have their own versions. Your plush keeps me awake at night. I love it very much. Well, good. You must stay awake and think about the mythology guy. How could Yord be the personification of Earth if Ymir is the Earth? You know, you can. That's actually a very fair question, but it's kind of like, you know, Greek mythology has like at least 4 different personifications of the ocean. So the way I take it is like these primordials aren't like the source of this thing's existence. They're kind of like a spirit that lives within that element and is connected to all parts of it. Like, it's possible Yord came to be after Ymir and just came to be within him and is now a personification of his body as a result. So that's my theory on it. It's like, you know, Oceanus is, or not Oceanus, Pontus is personification of the ocean, but his son Phorcys is also a personification of the ocean. Even though obviously Pontus was around before Phorcys, so there already was an ocean before Phorcys came around, but they're just both now connected to the ocean and all parts of it. So, you know, I know it's confusing as shit, and I'm sure the people who wrote these myths originally didn't think of it this deeply, but it's a fun thing to think about. Is Yord an acolyte of Ymir? You could say that. Both giants. But the myths specifically say that when Ymir died, all of the giants died except for Bergelmir and his bride. So that would likely include Yord, if Yord was alive back then. So I'm guessing Yord came about after the Great Flood. Do you play Smash Brothers? Yeah, I love Smash Brothers. Yes, Blobby Blob, I saw your Penguin God message, and thank you for that. I know it's your favorite bird, so I found Tawaki. It's not mine. It was a Patreon message. One of the Patreon people said it, but I'm sure they're very happy to hear about that. Is a volcano a mere farting? I don't think the Norse knew about volcanoes, honestly. How would you improve the Percy Jackson books? Seems like you're not a fan, unless I'm mistaking books for movies. I love the Percy Jackson books. I am a huge, huge fan. The thing I'm not a fan of is the movies or the show. I didn't enjoy the show overall. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people did. Good for you. I didn't. And I'm going to get a video out fully explaining why I didn't. Though I did do discussion videos explaining it already, so you can look at those if you want. What will happen when you make the prototype of the card game? So when we make the prototype, we're going to look at all the cards, make sure they all look right. We're going to feel them, make sure the material's good. We're going to put them in sleeves, make sure everything's still readable in the sleeves and everything. And then we're going to go test play them with people, make sure that other people like enjoy the gameplay, make sure that other people can read what all the abilities say, everything's nice and clear and good, and make sure the game is properly balanced with a lot of test players. I'm sure we can get all that done within a month, I'm hoping. And after, if all of that's good and we're all set and the instruction manual is easy to digest, then we go back to Game Crafter, ask them what's the number we need for mass production. They tell us what that number is, and then we make that number our Kickstarter goal, and we officially launch the Kickstarter. And that's how it happens. So there you go. 8440K, thank you for the $5. Does anyone actually kill Scylla? Heracles is said to kill it, but he's also said to have died before the Iliad, so Scylla never dies like Charybdis. I don't think anyone is said to actually kill Scylla. Heracles is said to fight like a sea monster at one point. I don't think that actually is Scylla. I think people confuse it with Scylla, but I don't know 100% for sure. I don't think Scylla ever actually gets killed in the myths, which is why they did something with that in the Circe book, because they had some leeway to do something with it. So, you know, if you want to have a version of what happens to Scylla, you can go read the Circe book. Is there any way to buy Legime outside the Philippines? Yeah, you can buy it online. You can totally buy it online. Will I become immortal if I eat an apple of Idun? No. If you eat an apple of Idun, you will be restored to the prime of your life. And then you would continue aging. Like, you know, like, so let's say you're 60 years old, you eat an apple of Idun, you're 27 again. And then you would just age normally from there. So the thing about the Norse gods is they regularly eat apples of Idun. I think they eat them literally every day. You know, an apple a day keeps the mortality away. Okay, now it's been over 2 hours. I'm going to read this last one. I have grown up far away from my home country of Iraq, so I'm very disconnected from my religion and myth. So is there any cool mythology from the Middle East you could mention? Oh, pretty much all of Arabian Nights. That's pre-Islamic Arabic legend. Arabian Nights is freaking awesome. So that's like, you know, Arabian Nights is where we get Aladdin, Alibaba, Sinbad, the Fisherman and the Genie, all these amazing characters. I would just say read Arabian Nights, but that wouldn't, of course, that doesn't really tie into the modern Islamic legend. But I'm sorry to tell you, I don't know a lot about Islamic legend. I know Arabian legend, which is pre-Islamic Middle Eastern stuff. But yeah, there is that. And there's also some really cool Persian legends, like Shahnameh, the Epic of Gods and Kings. There's another one for you. So that's some cool stuff. Nice shirt. Thank you. Wilda got this for me during our trip. Got this in the Bahamas. Favorite god overall is either Hades or Sun Wukong. You remind me of two people. They have the same personality, same birthday, and they are just like you. They have completely different personalities and perspectives. They just have the same vibe as you. Well, awesome. I hope I live up to them. Thoughts on Dionysus? Dionysus seems like a lot of fun, but also very unhinged. Can dwarves make magical jewelry? Yes, they have. They made Brisingamen, Freya's necklace. And they also made Draupnir, the magic ring that duplicates into more rings. So yeah. Why is this guy so nice? What guy? Where? I asked about the Spear of Destiny earlier, but do you think Santa Monica would do a Christianity game? I don't think they would do it, honestly. They were planning to at one point, though, because God of War 3 was originally supposed to end with the death of Zeus causing a power vacuum in the mythology space, and Egyptian and Norse gods were going to show up, and Kratos was going to meet his Egyptian and Norse equivalents, and they were going to fight all the gods, and then it was going to end with them becoming the three wise men and meeting Jesus. I swear that was the original plan. It would have been so weird, but I think it also would have been really cool. And they were actually foreshadowing it in God of War 2 with the murals that you find. But then they changed their plan, and I'm not sure why. Lorenzo Bain, thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars. Love your content. You know what sucks? In Portugal, we all learn about Greek mythology in school, but we never get thought about our own folk creatures and stories. Oh, that sucks. You should learn about your own country's stories. Some Portuguese mythology. That would be really awesome. Is there anything in Greek mythology that contradicts my series concept of they're just enforcers of galactic pantheon's will on Earth? The only thing that would contradict it would be if you would be, I guess, Gaia, but you could still make that work. You could just say that Gaia is the embodiment of the Earth, and like each planet has its own version of Gaia or something, and it's all still part of that pantheon. It would just complicate things a little for you, but I don't think it makes it undoable. You just have to get a little creative. All right. Okay. Who do you main in Smash Bros? Young Link and Little Mac are my two mains. Okay, I keep on going because I'm really enjoying doing this. But as you guys can probably hear, my throat's starting to hurt a little bit. I'm starting to get a little I'm starting to feel a little not great. And I absolutely love you guys, and I really love doing this live, and I honestly don't want to stop. But I think it would be in my best interest to stop. I'm gonna take maybe a 20-minute break, drink some water, maybe drink some tea, and then I'm gonna make I'm gonna try to make the Black Myth Wukong reaction video. I'm gonna go ahead and public my House of the Dragon video. It should be done uploading by now. Oh, and my computer just died. It literally just died on me right there. So that's good timing. I think that's a sign that it's time to stop. You guys, thank you so much for being patient. I know there hasn't been any content in a while, and I'm sorry for that. But thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting me on Patreon. Thanks for supporting me with the super chats. Thanks for all the kind words. Oh shit, there's another super chat. Okay, I'll answer it. John Seelinger, thanks for the $5. Seelinier, in case you forgot. I did forget, I'm so sorry. I've been to Rome, but your skits make me laugh. Get better soon. Thank you. That's super sweet to hear. Alright, well, can you one day when you feel good do a 3-hour stream? Technically, every time we stream on Twitch, we do a 3-hour stream, so come join the Twitch streams. I wouldn't mind doing a 3-hour stream, honestly. You guys are honestly the best, and thank you for everything. I don't know how to end videos.